Okay, so thank you very much for joining me tonight. So this is just a review of the class that you took with me with the card deck. And maybe you might just like to say your name and where you're from, where you're living, and because there's only a couple of us on the call at the moment. So who would like to start?
Okay,
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Shirley, go ahead, Shirley.
Okay, I'm Shirley and I live just on the outskirts of Clane and have done the card deck with Marion, which I found very helpful, I have to say. Do you want me to say more than that, Marion, at the moment?
That's fine for the minute. Yeah, thanks, Shirley.
Thank you. Can you hear me now?
I can, Jane, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I can't work this thing out. Sorry.
Well, you've done it now, so you're fine.
But then we got someone else to do it.
Well, that's okay too. That's okay. It's great that you have somebody else there to do it with you.
Well, thank God, Marion. Otherwise, that was it.
Oh, well, yeah.
I know the feeling, Jane.
Good. Hi, Shirley. How are you?
The only thing is, you know, we will get better with time, you know. I'm doing things now that I couldn't do before. So, but there are things, ladies, that I haven't managed yet that I need to manage. So, yeah, so that's where I'm at the moment, but all in good time, as they say.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah. So, Jane, would you like to go next, seeing as you're already having a chin wag?
Well, next for what? I missed the whole conversation.
Just your name and where you're living at the minute.
All right, sorry, yes, Jane Gilbert here, and I live in Lucan. And I'm just in the door, I'm running around, and I can't find my cards. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Well, you probably won't need them, Jane. Don't worry about it. Just sit down.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Thank you.
If we need cards, I have mine here, so we can do those.
Right, that's it. Right, I'm going to take a breath now.
Yeah,
fine, perfect.
Yeah. And Lily, would you like to go next?
Yeah, I'm Lily and I live between Cara and Prosperous near the Cockbridge out in the country.
So you're
I did the sessions with you in Clane.
You were at the live session in Clane, yeah. So was Jane and
yes.
So was Shirley as well.
That's right.
Yeah. And Michelle, if you'd like to unmute yourself.
Hi, I'm Michelle and I live in the United States in Washington State.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
So Michelle was on obviously online class, which was great. So I found that the two worked really, really well, you know. It was a pleasure to teach and it was really good doing it. So maybe I'd like to say what you found from it, what you've gotten from it. So again, Shirley, I might start with you.
Okay, I have found the healing deck of cards absolutely brilliant. I was suffering from extremely bad cramps in my legs, and the cramps could go from my groin to my toes, maybe in both legs at the same time, which was just absolutely awful. And I have found that I'm not getting the cramps that I used to. Now I get little ones, but they're manageable. And I'm feeling an awful lot better because I'm getting some sleep now, which I wasn't getting before. So I'm absolutely delighted. So,
Great.
That's good, Shirley.
Sorry.
That's brilliant.
Yes, it is brilliant. I'm absolutely delighted, so I am.
Do you use the cards much, Shirley? How are you using them?
Yes, I use them probably a couple of times in the week.
Yeah.
And yes, I find it very useful, I have to say. I also had a problem with my swallow at one stage, and that has helped with that as well. So yeah, I'm delighted.
That's great, because I'm dealing with the lady at the moment, and like that, she has a problem, you know, with this swallow as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but we're in the early stages of working with that, you know, so that's good. I can actually relay your message as well, you know, but it has helped. Great. Thanks, Shirley.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. Lily, how about you? What benefits have you got?
Sleep was my biggest problem. I have improved now in the warm weather and kind of gone back a bit with sweating and that type of thing. But it has improved, and I find my general well-being is I'm more positive and relaxed than I was.
Great. That's great. And how are you using the cards, Lily?
I used them every couple of weeks.
Good stuff. And you're using the frequency numbers as well.
Yes, on the water and on my body, yes.
Great. Brilliant. And Michelle, how about you?
What was the first question? Just, that's right. Just how am I using it?
Yeah.
So as far as pain goes, I had removed, I do other modalities, emotion code and body code work. So I didn't have the pains anymore that I used to. But so I was using it for more clarity and getting organized, or like cleaning my office. And then also I just check in with my body to see when I need to, if I can use it. And it's funny because I recently, sometimes I only have, like, I'll check in to see if I need it, but I don't. And then once a week or once every 2 weeks about, I've been getting the same card. So apparently I'm not listening. And it's like, it's the one about timeout or slowing down, and or you're going to be given a timeout. So I'm like, okay, this is like the third or fourth time I've got this card. I'm trying.
Listen to
Yeah,
well,
so.
you know what they say about trying, don't you?
I know. That's it right there.
Trying presupposes failure in advance. So when you try something, you just do it or you don't do it. Both are equally empowering, but don't try do it. Just do it or don't.
I'm not slowing down. It's summertime. It's July, August. It's like there's so much going on. It's like my busiest months of the year.
Yeah.
So, but I don't want to be given a timeout. So I do slow down a little bit, and then I get my card again for a reminder.
But do listen, because I got that card this week and I was given a timeout. I got my timeout. I got the red card. So it's not a good one to get, but I got it anyway. So thank you for sharing that. Jane, how are you getting on?
Yeah, no, I'm grand. Now, I'm going to be completely honest, because there's no point in not being. Since I was up with you, Marion, when I came home that day, I actually did reuse the cards again, and then I wrote down the numbers, and I've had them on my water ever since. And to be honest with you, I haven't changed them because, number one, I know I've gotten very busy again, but the difference is, after having the cancer, I've been told that it's gone now, and that they can't find anything, not in pain, but I'm actually enjoying the job. Now, the job that I've just been in has just finished.
Yeah.
And since that, I've had 5 weekends in a row of visitors over. So there just has been it's been never ending, but in a good way, in a positive way. It's not like I've been having fun.
Yes.
That's the other thing to say. I've been having fun. I've been enjoying myself. So now I'm getting work that's 2 days a week, the odd time 3 days a week. So that's only just started. So I'm going to have a little bit more time to myself, say like Thursday and Friday this week.
Great.
But with this kind of work that I'm in, it's unpredictable. I had work on Monday. I suddenly got work for Tuesday and Wednesday, and I didn't think I was actually going to make it tonight at all.
Oh,
so I'm literally only in the door. But the difference is I'm in a job that I actually like. I'm enjoying the job. Again, it's summertime, so the weather's nice for outdoors all the time. And I'm with like-minded people, and that's the difference.
Brilliant.
So maybe, no, I'm not saying maybe, the water is working, because I had sets of numbers that came up, and then I wrote my intentions on the back of that piece of paper and put it onto the water. And then I have a second water bottle as well that I have stuff on that. And when I run out of that, I transfer it. So I make sure that there's infusion into the water all the time.
Great.
So that seems to be working for me. I'm in good form all the time, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
You could ask somebody else, they might say something else. I don't know. I don't think so though. And it's just been since I was last up with you, Marion, it's just been a little roller coaster of work, play.
Yeah.
And then every weekend has been a bit of fun. And that's 2 weekends, because I thought Sarah was going to be on this tonight. But she was away, wasn't she? So I don't know.
She did say she would try and get on when she got in. She thought she might be back for this evening, but maybe she got delayed, you know.
Like she was going to Mexico, right? So that's a different thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, she was over for a couple of weekends. I had a friend who surprised me this weekend, and I had another friend that surprised me last weekend. And there are people I haven't caught up with properly in ages.
Yeah.
So, and suddenly work is coming out of nowhere. So it's working.
Well, that's brilliant. But the thing is, Jane, you know, because of what you've been through, and it's great now that you've got the all clear. Do you want to tell the ladies who don't know your story? Would you like to do that?
Oh, well, I don't mind, but I don't want to be boring, Shirley. She's heard it all.
Yeah, well,
You're not boring at all. Please do.
I think it's just fabulous. And I think it's, you know, it's an amazing story. So I think it's wonderful to share it, if you don't mind.
Well, I'll just try and keep it very brief. Last year I was working with, well, up to last year, I'm going to say up to last year, I was working non-stop. I was constantly tired. I was just not looking after myself at all. That's being honest. That's just the way it was. So I wasn't really looking after myself. And then suddenly I'd only started this brand new job. And then I think within a month I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. And to be honest with you, I didn't get into shock over that. I accepted the challenge. There was no, I'm scared of this or whatever. I just took it on board. Went back into work the same day I was diagnosed. I went back into work, carried on, told nobody. And I told no member of my family till actually near October, because I wanted to complete that year. I wanted to complete that job, but I wasn't sick. Anyway, there we go. So then I finished that job. I started chemo, and then by the time I hadn't done enough research not to do this, but then by January I decided to just stop the chemo completely because it just wasn't agreeing with me. But because I had time at home, I did my own research and decided it wasn't for me. And then went on my own journey of healing myself. And then, kind of cut a long story short, 6 months later, which is literally a month ago, I go back in, and basically I get ultrasound scans and mammogram in the same week, and they can find nothing. But in that same time, I had taken charge of myself, and I decided I was the one in charge. I wasn't letting doctors be in charge of anything. I took control of my mental health. I went to counselling, and I looked at my life and the way I was living it, and just everything that was going on with me. And so, and obviously my food changes and my diet changes and all that kind of stuff. And that's part of it. And I would say that that's 10% of it. But the mental changes were the huge thing. And then funnily enough, just after I started chemo, haven't seen Marion for several years. I'm going to say 5, I would think. 5. So Marion knew nothing about my situation, and suddenly out of nowhere got in contact with me and said I'd been on her mind and would we like to get in touch. And obviously I messaged her back and I said, well, just been diagnosed with breast cancer. I said, funny that I just found it really weird that Marion has suddenly contacted me knowing that what Marion does. And then suddenly here we are, the guts 2/3 of a year later, and I've gotten onto the cards, which are Marion's whole input into my journey has made a massive difference. And the introduction of the cards, and it's just getting the cards and being part of this has been part of my journey, but it's made a massive difference. Absolutely massive difference.
It's brilliant. I think I was so impressed, Jane, with when you were on your the second time you came to do the cards, and when you came in the door, you had that feeling from underneath your armpit right across your chest, you know, that sensation. And it was, you know, as you said, the level of discomfort was a 7 out of 10, 10 being the worst scenario. And after you finished doing the cards on yourself, that had vanished. And
that had vanished completely, and I never got it back. But I have developed a very strong belief in myself for healing.
Yeah.
And the body has an innate ability to heal itself. And everything, at the end of the day, it's like everything, like crystals, cards of any sort, it's a tool. But if it helps you create that innate ability to heal yourself,
Yeah.
then, you know, why not make it part of your journey?
Yeah, well, you know, like a decision is about an incision to cut something out of your life. And you decided that the chemo was not going to be part of your healing journey, and you cut that away, but you made up your mind. And that was the key, I think, to your journey and your success as well.
Without sounding ridiculous to somebody else, this is just my personal opinion, but I have made a conscious decision, as far as I'm concerned, that I'm not going to have any type of illness invade my body again, because it's a disease, it's a density. So you need to look at your life.
Yeah.
And lose the fear. Losing
Absolutely.
the fear is a huge thing.
Yeah, absolutely. You're so spot on, really, you know.
And everybody else that was like, I was up against the world, except Marion.
I agree with you, Jane.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Totally because everyone, and I had to say to people, I had one particular friend was crying with me in the kitchen, not with me, she was crying to me in the kitchen, and I had to say to her, you need to stop, because I cannot take on your energy. Because if I take on that energy and you instill fear in me, I'm finished.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you took control of that situation.
Yeah, you just you know, it is about taking your power back.
Yeah, absolutely. You know,
I love that.
I firmly believe if I had continued down that route, because at this stage I should have had 10 more. I stopped 10 more rounds of chemo, the mastectomy, and a load of radiation, and I firmly believe that would have killed me, because my brain was gone with the chemo, and anybody who's been on chemo knows what I'm talking about. Your brain is gone, you can't function, and to me, chemo is not logical. It's not logical. I don't understand something that poisons you that badly to make you well again when you need your immune system to heal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not all about me here tonight.
But thank you for sharing that. Sorry, Michelle, you were going to say something there. You're going to add in something, were you?
Oh, I just said I love it. Yeah. I love that. Taking control and yeah.
Because I mean, that's what you work with. You work with, the emotion code. So again, it's getting the control of your emotions. And the body does have an innate intelligence to heal itself, so it's making, and I think it's a wonderful decision that you've made now, Jane, that you're no longer going to bow down to dis-ease anymore, because, that's not where you're going to be anymore. I'll
just very quickly add, I was back with because I just wanted, out of curiosity, because she was the one that the doctor that gave the diagnosis. I was actually in with her last week, and I could have chosen not to go in, because I've decided whatever. Anyway, I just decided to go in, and of course they're still trying to get me to go back on tamoxifen and Herceptin, and they want me to still have the mastectomy. And the basis for the mastectomy is they might find something, or it might be only scar tissue. Now, I'm not willing to take that. I'm not even going to call it a risk, just to find scar to be mutilated. Now, and I will say, because it's all ladies here, I was quite willing to get a new pair of boobs. I had no problem with that. No problem with that at all. But when you do the research and you actually look underneath the layers of the onion of what it's all about, it's just not it wasn't for me personally.
Yeah. The surgery can cause more problems in your body, more imbalances, the shock system.
Yeah, and that's where you hear of people getting cancer in different parts of their body, because it doesn't kill the stem cells. They're putting out that bit. It's like trying to fix the car, but not looking at the engine, and looking at the, proper, and looking at how the mechanics of the body works, how the mechanics of a car works. Ripping out a part and not actually going down there. Like, as I said, and I've said this many times, and Marion's heard me say, when did food become the enemy?
Yeah, like if you go back to Hippocrates, let food be your medicine and medicine your food.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to really get into. But anyway, that's another story.
Yeah, the cards were amazing, and the fact, like, even the messages that I was getting, it just lifts you right up there and it validates your journey. That's what I was getting out of it. I am getting out of it when I can find them.
What I found, what I
Here's
not last weekend, the weekend before, Shirley and I took some time out and we went on this 2-day painting, which should have been very pleasant. And it was, Shirley, wasn't it? It was, the weather was amazing. We actually needed the sun umbrella. We were under, what would you call that? Gazebo.
Able, I think.
Yeah. And of course, on the second day, I decided to go back to the car to get something, and I stepped on a loose stone and went over on my ankle and sprained my ankle really badly. And so when I took my cards out the next day and I was asking the question about why did this happen? And Michelle, you know this one. This is the one you keep getting. Okay. And it says, are you in a state of tension, rushing, racing, not taking time to be? We're human beings, not human doings. Take time to nourish your mind and body with quiet time. Otherwise, the timeout may be set for you. Thank you very much. This quietness comes in a form of your choice. What will you choose? Now, I eventually decided that I was continuing to work throughout the week, and I just canceled my appointments, and I just said, okay, I'm just going to sit and knit because that's what I do best when I'm not working. So that's what I did. So it was only last Friday. I decided that's what I would do, and I started on Friday, and now I've just nearly finished. Very same as what I've on me, but it's in green. It's a shocking green, by the way.
no, it's
It's
fabulous.
really
Green.
It's really, really green.
I like it.
I like it.
Thank
I
you.
like it too.
But, so that's what I've been doing with myself. And each time I said to myself, okay, you know, put that away now and go do some work. And it was like, no, I just need to take the time out. And then the second card I got was headstrong. Too strong or not strong enough. What do you need right now? Do you need to pull back or push on? What feels right? There's a great outcome that is yours. Get the balance right and claim your reward. So then
I keep getting those two together also. Did you get those together?
I did, yes, that was the
Yeah.
second one. And it says, get the balance right and claim your reward. And then what comes up but life balance?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
And this says, you know, make a note of what your life balance is right now. What do you need to do to bring about a good, stable routine? Work, relaxation, sleep, water, exercise, family time, playtime. This will allow you to have a better lifestyle. Start with one simple change, incorporate it for a month until it becomes automatic. So I just thought it was very, here's Julie coming to join us. I just thought it was very, very fitting for what had just happened and how it was about.
Yeah. See, the cards tell a story. They validate your story.
Absolutely. And I think you found that as well, Michelle, didn't you, when you were working with it?
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's so funny because I had those same 3 cards at one time. I was looking back at my notes. So that's very interesting.
And it's amazing how when you have the intention and then you shuffle the card, and when you pull out what the priority one is, it just seems to, as you said, Jane, it validates where you're at right now, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's wonderful. So Judy has just joined us. Hello, Judy. How are you doing?
My apologies for being late.
At least you're here, Judy. Would you just like to introduce yourself and where you're from?
Yes, I'm Judy, and I am in New Jersey,
Oh,
in the States.
Thank you for joining us. It's great to have you. So we were just going around and asking people, you know, how the cards have helped and what benefits they've gotten from it. Would you like to add something to that, Judy?
I'm sorry, say it again, that you were just talking about how the cards helped you. Is that more or less what the question was?
Yeah. How do you find the cards are working for you?
What I've started to do, for whatever reason in the beginning, I always thought it had to be like a health issue. just because that's what I started with. So I've been using them for, excuse me, for other reasons as well, more in decision making.
Yeah.
And I have found them to be helpful in decision making. Now, they haven't helped in picking the lottery winning number yet, but I may give that a try.
Okay, let us know if that works, will you?
Okay. I'll share
We
the.
won't hear from her again. She won't need to be in contact.
That's what it'll be.
Oh, that's so good. The other thing I wanted to ask you, ladies, is this something that you would recommend to somebody else? Because I'm going to continue on with more classes.
Oh, definitely. Sarah's going to use them in her practice.
Yes, Sarah's using them in her practice. Michelle is using them in her practice as well. And
I am. I want to be using them more here soon, but I think I emailed you about the very first group session. I pulled one for the group. There was 3 people, and it was very magical. They all said it was magical. So I hope they reached out to you to, they wanted to purchase the cards. So
I haven't heard from them yet, but then I do have a problem with my website at the moment. So that's being, well, the website designer is on holidays, so it'll be another week anyway. But yeah, so if they do want to reach out, maybe just get them to email me or something. That would be better,
okay.
The other thing then was, yeah, I'm glad you said, Judy, that you use it for guidance and direction, because in your manual, it does have that, module of guidance and direction. So you can actually use it for that. It's not just for healing as well. I mean, it does that magically too, but for giving yourself, if you have an idea and you say, I wonder what, if I choose the card and shuffle them, what would the priority card be? So it can give you some kind of direction as well.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I had skimmed over the manual, and then before I had to run out for an appointment, I was rereading parts of it, and I realized that it was in there. And I must say, something that's very basic, at least for me, that I really appreciate, and that is the use of the words of balance and imbalance. So you're not necessarily, so if someone doesn't believe that this can do something for them in terms of pain, because of whatever story we've bought into because of pain. If you talk about balance and imbalance, how does your body feel today? Do you feel balanced? Do you feel imbalanced? It's a very soft place to start out.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. But the wonderful thing is, like, isn't it wonderful that you can use your own internal gyroscope to get the answers that is correct for you? Like, that's the wonderful thing. The only thing you do need to do is to make sure that your circuit is working, because if your circuit is not working, you're going to get an opposite result that you don't want. So always check that your circuit is working, because a thought can actually blow your fuse. Food can blow your fuse. If you take something into your body that your body's kind of screaming at you, please don't do this to me, but we don't check it, well, then that can blow your fuse, so it's amazing, like a thought, a word, an action, or a food, or even the shampoo you might put in your hair. It just depends, because our skin is our protection, and if you put something on your body that your body doesn't like, it's going to try and tell you, please don't do that to me. I don't like it. I can't handle it, So, going forward, this is the other thing. How would you like me to support you going forward?
Is that a general question?
Yeah.
I thought it was somebody in particular.
No, just generally, I was thinking of maybe doing a Zoom either once a month or once a fortnight or something like that, so that people can just check in and hop on, and maybe if any questions or anything like that. What do you think of that?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's interesting to get different perspectives there from everybody that's on the group there.
Yeah, exactly. And this is just a minute part of the amount of people that have done the course, you know. So when you've got different people, you hear different stories as well, you know, so it's all part of the support as well. And the other thing too, I want to mention, because I'm recording this, is I just wanted to say thank you to Sarah for creating the flow chart, because it was Sarah that actually created the flow chart, which I think, and I'm sure you'll agree, is a great tool. It's really
Absolutely.
great picture format. It kind of encompasses the process from beginning to end, and it speeds things up really. And then as you get better and more practiced at doing it for yourself, it's just instant and automatic. You know, I mean, I can be walking down the supermarket and I can pick something up and then it instantly and know that I can put it back on the shelf. I don't need to buy it because my body's saying, no, thanks very much. You know, that's not for me. So it's a great time saver.
Sarah will be raging now. She's not on tonight. So I think it's just bad timing for her tonight.
Yeah, but like that, it was bad. Like, you're not going to get everybody on the night.
No, you're not.
Because a lot of people couldn't make it anyway. So that's why I'm recording it and I'll send it to them, so at least they'll get it, you know.
Marion?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something I had written down that I wanted to share with you, and I had seen a friend the other evening for dinner. It was the first time I had seen her in a long time. And I knew that she had been dealing with breast cancer, and I knew there were some other issues, but she didn't want to seem to talk about. This was like 3 years ago when she first told me about it. She went for a long period of time, didn't want to discuss it, finally discussed it and shared a little bit of a little bit more information. But the other night when we went out for dinner and she set the whole thing up, she said, oh, I'm not going to order anything. Well, I'm going to order something, but I'm going to take it home with me. And I thought, oh, did you have a big lunch? And she said, no, you know, we took our daughter and son-in-law out for lunch the day before, and I ate something and was up all night. And I thought, and then when she told me, I thought it was basically clean food, what we would call clean food here. And what it turned out is that she is having some reaction to all the things that went wrong from where the tumor was, and that they had to remove it. Apparently it was 16 centimeters. And so there was just a lot of things that impacted her digestive system. But she doesn't know whether or not she can eat it until after she eats it.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
So this would be helpful. And the other thing I wanted to share that was interesting about the word, you know, we're talking about pain. I went out with some friends on Sunday, and we were in this small little theater, and there were just 1 or 2 steps. I mean, and then it was one, and then you would take a few steps and then another step. And I had gone outside to get some fresh air, but the friend that I was with fell.
Oh.
When I came back in, she had fallen and she had a cane with her. And I thought, wow, you know, I wonder, because it wasn't anything like you had to do acrobatics to walk down the one step and excuse yourself and walk in front of 10 people. It was pretty straightforward. And she made an interesting comment, at least I found it interesting. She said, you know, I think that the reason I fell is because I couldn't feel my pain. She had taken 2 ibuprofen and a Tylenol because she knew she was going to be out all afternoon. And she's dealing with the surgeon because it has to do with back and everything else. But she said, I cut the pain off. And she said, I think that's why I fell.
Oh, goodness.
Gosh.
Wow. Yeah.
And I thought, you know, pain is always talking to us and giving us a message.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was thinking of doing a workshop on how to test your food. You know, that's something I was going to throw out to you guys and just see if that's something you'd like to be, you know, interested in. I think it would be a good starting point, you know.
Sounds a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, you know, everything, as you say, Judy, there's no point in letting your body tell you that didn't suit me at all.
After, yeah.
After the fact, if you can do that beforehand and save yourself, because it takes energy. Food will either energize you or it will drain your energy, and it depends. And the food that will energize my body may not necessarily energize your body. It can be the opposite for your body. We're all different, And then the other thing too about, are you taking enough water? Has your body got enough water as well? Because water is so important, particularly in this, this current weather. Water is so important. The other thing is, everybody kind of glanced through the manual. Was there anything in there that was, helpful, or have you not read it yet? Or anybody like to comment?
I have read it, but I can't think of any comment just at the moment.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I would just wonder, Marion, how do you know how many, when you have enough cards? How do you know you have to take another card?
You ask your body, do I need another card? That's on the protocol sheet in your manual. It says, is there another card needed? So it's on, I think it's page 16 or 17 of the manual. And it says, like, the protocol record sheet, just 3/4 of the way down, it says, do I need another card? So sometimes you might only need one card. Sometimes it can be 3. Sometimes I can get 5 cards. It just depends on what the intention is, what I might, what's the question I'm asking. But you remember what I said about asking a question? You put it into a statement format so that the answer is either yes or no. Yeah, do you remember that bit?
Thank you.
So it just depends.
Just another thing I read.
Yes, Lily?
Yeah, I just saw that it said there were 49 cards as well as the 2
front and back
introductory ones or something. And I just counted, and I have only 49 altogether.
49 altogether. You should have 49.
Yes, including.
That's the front and back cards. Did you take out the front and back card, or have you still got those?
I've only one card. Otherwise, I think that is the introductory one. Why use frequency numbers? That one. That's the introductory one, I presume.
Right. So you've got the.
I don't know what the other one.
Well, I'll tell you what to do, Lily. Give me a ring one of the days, bring them down. I'll check and see which one is missing, and I'll see if I can give you a replacement card of the one that's missing.
Right. Yeah, that one I said, why use frequency numbers? I presume that's one of the 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and
that's
the
back,
one I don't see.
That's the back card, and
I had them in the same packet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, look, as I say, bring them down to me, but just check with me first before you come down, and I'll check and see what's missing.
Yes, I understand. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have 47 cards also.
Thank you, Mary.
No, you should have.
I have 49, including the insight,
That's right.
including these 2.
It's 49. Sorry, it is. It's 47 plus the 2 is 49. That's correct. Yeah.
I just thought I'd count them because I hadn't counted them.
Yeah. It's actually
49 altogether.
49 altogether. So when you take away the front and back
altogether.
cards, you've got 47. So maybe you're not missing one, Lily. You can count them out.
No, maybe I'm not. I don't know. I thought it was 40.
You can check it out and they can let me know.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
What else? Does
I
anybody
did have something I was going to share
Yes.
that I just remembered. And I don't know if it's just me, but just I'm very sensitive when it comes to energy or just in general. My body's sensitive. I did find that I need to check with myself to see, like, once I've installed the card, however many times I need to, I don't always need to install or wear. I don't always need to wear the frequency, but sometimes, like if I have 4 or 5 cards, I happen to have 4 or 5 cards, sometimes I only need to wear 3 or 4 of them.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's good.
for people that are sensitive, And rarely do I ever need to infuse the water. It's rare when I do. And if I do, it's just one or two times that I drink it and I'm done, because I'm just so sensitive for some reason. And I've given myself the intention that I will take what I need anyways. And that might be why, because my intention's strong with that.
Yeah, well, that's a good explanation. Thank you for sharing that, Michelle, because that might be interesting for somebody else, you know.
Can I just ask Michelle, like when you say sensitive, what way does it? Like how like do you do, like say I write 3 frequencies on my bottle without thinking about it. So how does it affect you then? Sensitivity.
Say that first part again. What'd you say?
Okay, say you have, say, 5 frequency numbers that you've picked just per se, and just say you put them on your bottle. So in what way does it affect you sensitivity wise, that you know that you only need 3 or?
Oh, I just ask my body if I do. I get the reason that happened is I was like getting my body just really reacts quickly because I muscle test so much that when I actually went to write it down, my body was like, no. So I was like, oh, okay. So now I pay more attention.
I just find that interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. That's something to be aware of. I just think it's something to be aware of.
Yeah, I think the more accustomed, like Michelle is muscle testing a lot during the day when she's working on clients. So she's quite used to testing for others as well as for herself, you know. So when you do get to a stage where it's almost instant, it's almost as if your body's telling you before you even go to test it, I need you or I don't need you, you know. So
the intuition, sometimes it'll just be a no or a
Yeah, okay, that's just interesting.
Yeah, that is. It's always interesting. Does anybody have any questions based on, you know, anything that they've learned over the last number of weeks?
No. Can't think of anything.
Okay.
At the minute.
All right. I was just asking Judy if anybody has any questions based on the cards or that you've noticed.
Not at this moment. Just in response to what Michelle was saying, I guess in order for your body to answer, you always have to do the standing up. In terms,
no, there's all different types of muscle testing.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's the ring in, ring out. There's so many different ways. Marion knows several different ways. Maybe that's a class that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that I was going to do.
The one with the arm many years ago. There's one with the arm, but you need a second person.
Yeah.
To push down.
Yeah.
That's one I've never been able to, haven't tried to do too much but yeah, there's so many, there's where it's yes.
I use this
no.
one a lot. Yeah.
Yes,
I use this all the
no.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is yes, no.
Yeah.
This is one I use a lot. It's yes, no. There's also this one.
Yeah, there's so many different ones. Yeah.
So yes, no is if you ask it a question and it's yes, you can't pull the fingers apart. Is that it?
Yeah.
And if it's no, it'll come right out. Okay. And then the second, thank you. This is helpful to me. I love these things.
There's one like that. This is yes, no. Your finger won't move if it's yes, if it's solid.
It's just you're using the finger instead of your arm.
Okay. Yes.
Another one that I like that's really like if I'm in public or something, so you're not is the it's like flicking. Yes, no. Yes is solid. Yes. No.
Yes. Interesting.
There's all different
practice and just go around and ask what color the trees are, green or the trees are purple, or just ask yourself questions. Yeah.
Thank you. That's great.
Yeah, there are so many ways of doing it, and there's so many different ways that people prefer to do it, but I found the best way of teaching it is to use the sway method, because it's your whole body is giving you the, it's a nice way of doing it.
I agree. It's something that people they don't think about. And
yeah, it's very responsive, very responsive. Now you will get some people that they'll say yes and they'll say no and they don't move a muscle, because you know, it can be that they've been so long in tension and holding themselves in tension that they don't know how to just let go.
Mm.
So
Some people have blocks too, and I have to remove the blocks so that they can muscle test.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And again, that block can be something that their body has put on early on in life, or it's been passed down from generation to generation, you know. So there's so many things that can be causing the blocks that, you know, and that's the sort of work that I do and Michelle does as well, you know. So it's great to be able to lift and shift a block when somebody is really blocked, and it helps them to move forward, you know. And it's a great way of helping people to just have a happy, just being happy and happy in your own skin, basically. That's it, you know. And as Jane said earlier, not to be afraid of anything, you know. Fear can really block us and stop us, and you know,
Well, it's debilitating. Fear is debilitating.
yeah. And the thing is, you know, if you think about, well, when I think about, I've less time in front of me than I've had behind me. Okay, so it's to enjoy. That's why for the last few days, I mean, it's been wonderful just sitting and doing my work. And what I've done is I've actually recorded how to do this bolero, you know. So now I have a video file of, you know, step 1, step 2, step 3. So I've had a bit of a blast doing that. So I'm on the last, I'm just on this, the band, you know, so that's my last video to make, and then it's done, you know.
It's really pretty. I love daisies, and it reminds me of daisies on your
Yeah.
shoulder.
And I
Yeah.
mean, there's only 2. There's just this big, I call it spider web. And this is actually, the square that you see here is actually that circle there.
Oh,
Oh,
very good.
Except when it's sewn in to the infill piece, it becomes a square, you know. So there's only the 2 pieces, and you're repeating this to do this, and then there's just the extensions on it, you know. So it's a lovely one to do. Now it's a bit of a jigsaw if you want to make a bolero, but you can make a blanket or a scarf or anything like that with it, you know. So, but it's enjoyable, you know. This was something that came from another time out when I was laid up in bed, and I did a blanket, and I did this in the chakra colors. So I call it my chakra blanket, you know. And then one day I was looking at it and I was saying to myself, I wonder if I could make a top out of that. So that's where this was born, you know. So I managed to put it all together, and a bolero came out of it. So it was nice. And so I've had a blast kind of doing that. But, you know, this is the sort of thing, legends that I'm leaving for my kids or for anybody else who wants to look at it and say, well, you know, I'd like to give that a go and see if I can do it, you know. So, yeah, so that's kind of, it's because I've learned how to do the videos. I just want to keep my hand in that practice, you know. But what I have done, ladies, is I have made videos of me teaching how to do the cards. So this is where I'm looking for, you might know someone who would like to do the card deck course. So what I'm looking for is volunteers. Now, not yourselves, because you've already done it, right? But volunteers of somebody who might like to do it. But it would be me playing the video. So it's like as if I'm speaking to them and teaching how to use the cards. The only thing is that they would need to have a card deck, you know, in order to do it. That's the only thing. So if you know anyone who would like to do that and are willing to purchase the deck and come on board on a Zoom and see if they would like to do it. So you might know about that. Yeah.
Word out anyway.
Yeah. Because, you know, if you've benefited from it, it would be nice to spread that word and let somebody else to do. Again, you were part of my beta class, so it was, you helped me to show me where I needed to improve on the teaching end of it. And I hope I did a good job with you. So this is for me to test and see that I have all the information in the videos. So it's really testing to see if I have all the information in the videos, or is there anything missing that I need to add in there, you know? So you can let me know on that one, will you?
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
That'd be great. That'd be great. So anything else you'd like to share before we go? Because we're just on time now.
Could I just ask about you shifting a block? What do you mean? How do we know we have a block or to get shifted?
Yeah, well, sometimes you don't know, you see, this is where
Yeah.
the expertise that I have a protocol list that I go through to see, do you have one? Where is it? And can I shift it now? If you think about it, you know, you can't shift every block every day, you know. Your body can only handle so much at a time. So what you do is when you come across one and you can shift one, then you allow your body time to adjust to that. And taking the fear out of your system. That's the main thing, is that you don't live in fear, that you live in peace and harmony. And that when you find yourself thinking negatively, that you can change your thinking instantly. You know, it's like, I told Judy this story. Judy knows the story about the day I was bringing the kids to school. And I was in such bad form. Oh my gosh. I mean, I think I nearly wanted to cry. I was in really, really bad form. The kids were quite small at the time. And the school was a long distance away. So I had to drive to school. And when I got to the school, it was late. And that was another reason why I was in bad form. But I really wasn't feeling very well. And there was no parking. So there was cars parked on the right, cars parked on the left. And I decided, so there's nowhere to park. I'll just, the traffic came to a stop anyway. So I said, okay, I'll let the kids out. So I got out, opened the back door, let the children out, saw them safely onto the road. And then the car behind me started beeping the horn as if to say, come on, move it. Like we have to go to work, whatever. So anyway, I turned around, saw the car door was open, said, thank God, left the car door open, ran back, jumped in the car, slammed the door. And I was sitting in the back seat.
I love this story.
I was so angry and so upset. I didn't even know it was the back seat. So then I go to get out of the car and then it's child locked. So I couldn't open the door. And then there was big chunky headrests. Well, if you'd have seen me trying to climb over to get into the front seat, oh my God, thank God I had trousers on. So I got into the seat and I looked in my mirror at the guy behind me before I drove off, and he was doubled up in tears with laughter. All I could do then was, I did start crying, but it was tears of laughter. I just said, oh, Marion, even you're such a silly sod, and I couldn't. So all the way home, I cried all the way home, but it was laughter. And I said, change the thinking instantly by something silly that I did, But I can still look back on that. And when I tell that story, people do, find it very, very funny. But I tell you,
that was fine. You got to go back to that. No, that's bad enough. You got in the back seat, but then you had the child lock. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what I would have been effing and blinding.
Yes.
Well, my swear word, as I say, is I call shukra, which is the Irish for sugar. And so when you hear me saying shukra, that's me swearing. But just trying to get over those seats, it was just incredible. Like, I think there was about 2 inches between the headrest and the top of it was such a squeeze. But yeah, so it changed.
It creates such a visual.
So
you're lucky your man didn't start booting the horn.
Well, yeah, well, you know what? I think
too bad he wasn't going anywhere. He was being
anywhere.
entertained.
I made his day, but I also made my day as well, and it's given a few people some laughs, so that's a good one. But you can go from a very negative state into a really positive state when you think of something that brought you joy at some stage in your life, and even just as you were saying, even just looking at trees and looking at nature and knowing how just miraculous nature is. If you think of a tree has come from a seed, and growing to the height and the width that it does and reaching towards the sky, but equally as it's going towards the sky, it's going into the earth, so nature is just such a wonderful thing. So if we look at the nature around us and look what we do have, and rather than not thinking about, oh, what's wrong with me today, you know, you can actually change your state by changing how you think. Yeah.
Definitely.
Mm. And, you know, we've got so much to be grateful for. Yes, Judy.
As you know, I love quotes. And I was just going to share one with the group by one of your countrymen. And when you were talking about blocks, and the quote is, "Through a lack of love, everything hardens."
Yes.
Ah. Wonderful.
And that's John O'Donohue.
All right.
One of my favorites. You know, so I thought it was appropriate to share with you, but I was going through some old papers and I came across this and I thought, so many of his things you can just sit with for a while.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, oh, so are our blocks part of a lack of love?
Yes. Yeah.
And you know, the most important person that we need to love is firstly ourselves, you know, and that's really, really important, is ourselves first and foremost. And it's not being selfish, it's actually being self-full, you know, and that's really, yeah. And somebody sent me a message today and it says, whatever makes your soul happy, do that. So whatever that is, just do it, you know. But again,
I'm going to the pub now then.
what's that?
I'm going to the pub now then. Actually, there we go.
Well, have one for me if you do. Right, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. And I really appreciated the fact that you gave up your time to do the course with me. And I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I'm glad that you got something from it. That's, you know, it's really, what was it? Someone said, you know, out of every negative, there's a positive. And when I think back of where the cards originated from, for me, that was such a negative, but look what's come from it, you know. And I'm so grateful.
But like I said to you before, it's completely different. And it's not something that we've done. It's something that I think everybody will continue to do because it's never ending. There's always going to be help or inspiration, or especially with numbers, like the whole universe is built on numbers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like I said, all the decks of cards that I would have in this house, they are the one to have.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Definitely, they're beautiful all the way around.
Oh, well, they were made out of love. They were made from desperation too, but from desperation to inspiration, and then the magic has happened, which is
like the tree, they grew.
They did, yeah, and they came through, which was lovely, you know.
Yeah.
And I just feel very honored to be a part of that, being the creator of them, which is, you know, it was really good.
No, look what you started.
The artistic work is what gets me.
The what?
The artistic work is what gets me.
Yeah, but
you know, your pictures.
Yeah, but it's amazing, like how they just
so
come
much
about. Yeah, and
Yeah.
you know, and what really, what nearly stopped them was actually the horses, because as I said, there was too many horses coming through, and I wasn't really good on painting horses. And then doing that unicorn meditation, sure, that's where the wisdom, insight, and foresight came from. You know, the name of the card that gave me the inspiration to do the deck. You know, so yeah, I'm so grateful, so very, very grateful, and thank you all so much for being a part of my journey. And as you say, Jane, this is just the beginning.
It is, yeah. I'll be in touch with you soon anyway, in the next week or two.
Yeah, well, I'd love to have a chat with you actually, and I'll actually love to have a chat with all of you, because I'm looking for some words that I'm going to share with you, not right now, but I'd like to get your feedback on the words I'm going to share. And again, it's to do with the deck, you know. So again, thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to being in touch and having a chat.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was lovely meeting all you ladies.
Yes.
Thank you. God bless you.
It's nice
Thank
to
you,
meet
Mary. Nice
Thank you.
meeting all of you. Sorry
Bless
I was late
everybody.
there. Thank you.
We'll do it again some night. I'll send you a date and a time if that's okay, and we'll catch up again. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a great
Bye.
week. Take care.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks, guys. Bye. 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 Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.